Welcome to another Mathnificent conversation. Today's featured guest is factoring a difference of two cubes. On the left-hand side, I've written out the first 11 perfect cubes that you should have memorized, and memorizing them isn't the important part. Being able to recognize them is the important part. When you see a difference of two cubes, you're not going to be fluent with it if you don't have the perfect cubes memorized. So I've laid out the formula, and now I'm going to show you how to work through the formula when you're trying to factor a difference of two cubes. Similar to a difference of two squares, we have a perfect cube. Difference means subtraction. And another perfect cube. So let's factor x to the third minus 1. So when we first start, again, we want to flow through what's actually being cubed, but you want to always get to a point where you don't need this middle step. So x cubed is just x to the third, and 1 is 1 to the third. So now we're going to follow our formula because we know a is equal to x, b is equal to 1. So this will factor to x minus 1, x squared plus 1 times x plus 1 squared, which just simplifies to x squared plus x plus 1. Okay, now we want to factor 2x to the third minus 128. So when we first look at it, it doesn't look like it's a difference of two cubes. But I do know that 2 and 128 have a greatest common factor of 2. So before I would do anything, I would factor a 2 out. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 1 times x cubed is x cubed. And 128 divided by 2 is 64. So now after factoring out a 2, I'm left with x cubed minus 64, which is a difference of two cubes, where a is x, and if we look to the left-hand side, b is 4. I'm going to rewrite that so we can see it. This is really x cubed minus 4 cubed. Now we just follow our formula. X minus 4 times x squared plus 4 times x plus 4 squared. So our final answer is 2 times x minus 4 times x squared plus 4x plus 16. Factor 64x to the 6th minus 8. I notice a GCF between 64 and 8 is 8. So I can factor an 8 out. And I'm left with 8x to the 6th minus 1. Okay, now I double check. Am I left with a difference of two cubes? Any multiple of 3 can be written as a perfect cube. So x to the 6 is a perfect cube. 8 is a perfect cube. 1 is a perfect cube. So what did I cube to get 8x to the 6th? Well, we know 2 for the 8 part. And we know our exponent on the outside is going to be a 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that's going to be x squared minus 1 cubed. So now I know A is 2x squared and B is 1. So following my formula, A minus B is going to be 2x squared minus 1. Then I have 2x squared squared plus 1 times 2x squared plus 1 squared. So to simplify, 8 times 2x squared minus 1, 4x to the 4th plus 2x squared plus 1. Now we're asked to factor x to the 9th minus 343. Here's where knowledge of your exponent rules has to come in. But as a hint, any exponent that's a multiple of 3 can be written as a perfect cube. Okay, so we see we have x to the 9th minus 343. 9 is a multiple of 3. And if you want to figure out how you rewrite it, put the 3 on the outside and then divide. 9 divided by 3 is 3, so what's on the inside is going to be x cubed minus 7 cubed. So now A is x cubed and B is 7. Still going to just follow our formula. A minus B will be x cubed minus 7. Then we're going to have x cubed squared plus 7 times x cubed plus 7 squared, which will simplify to x cubed minus 7 times x to the 6th plus 7x cubed plus 49. And I forgot to mention, this trinomial that we end up with never factors. So you don't have to worry about checking to see will that factor any further. You're done. This here, x cubed minus 7, 7 is not a perfect cube, so we don't need to go any further, and we stop right here. Now this next example is going to super test your knowledge. So I would try to factor this completely on your own before you watch to see if you're really understanding what's happening. Okay, so we have x to the 6 minus 1. We just saw in the last example that x to the 6 can be rewritten as x squared cubed. And we know 1 is 1 cubed. So that means A is x squared and B is 1. So let's follow our formula. X squared minus 1, x squared squared plus x squared times 1 plus 1 squared. So when I simplify this, I notice this guy here is now a difference of 2 squares. So if you haven't already watched the difference of 2 squares video, make sure you watch it because that means this can factor more to x minus 1, x plus 1, x to the fourth, plus x squared plus 1. So great way to check your knowledge to see how you're doing with difference of two cubes and difference of two squares, and getting yourself in the practice of always checking, can I factor this more?